Hello humans! If you're watching this video, you're probably watching it with your eyes. Hi, my name is Liberty, and I'm going to learn you a thing. Today we will learn about the eye. Not like that though. A little less kawaii. More like that. The first thing we're going to learn about is the sclera. The sclera, though you probably can't see what I'm drawing, is the white of your eye. You know, the part that's white. The sclera is made out of collagen and elastic fibers, which are just types of tissues. I'm really funny. Next, the iris. Everyone knows about the iris. It's the part of the eye that provides the color. Mine are hazel. The iris is a muscle. Its purpose is to get bigger or get smaller and change the shape of the pupil. We all know about the pupil, but the pupil is actually just a hole. There's nothing there. It's black because obviously the light goes through it and then our eye takes up all of the light because that's what we see. We see light. So nothing reflects back because then we wouldn't be seeing. So it's black. It is just a hole. It is just nothing. So the iris is pretty much what creates the pupil. And what the iris does as a muscle is when it's dark, it gets bigger, making the pupil bigger so that more light can get in so it's easier to see since there's less light when it's dark. Duh. And then when it's really bright, it gets smaller so that less light can go in and your eye won't get damaged. And that is what the iris does. It also makes you look pretty and sparkles in the sunshine. Now we know about the sclera, the white, the iris, the color, and the pupil, the hole. Right? Right. What about this? I colored in the iris here already since we already learned that. And sort of the sclera I colored as well. They're both red because this is Dave Strider's eyeball. Underneath the sclera is the choroid. It's just a coating. I mean, under the sclera, and it's just so pretty. That's the choroid. It actually is a bluish color. So let's bluish it more, like that. And what it does is takes the light and prevents it from scattering all over the place, just like that. Keeps it from doing that. Thank you, choroid. The choroid then becomes, down here, the ciliary body. Now cilia are hair-like things. So you just get these hairs. Yep, I'm an artist. So right behind the iris, you get the ciliary body that comes from the choroid, like this. Exactly like this, except blue. The ciliary body holds the lens in place. It's here. Can you see it? Can you see it? It's here. That's the lens. But before I can teach you about the lens, let's learn about the cornea. Cornea. That's this. Cornea doesn't look like this hot mess, but it is over your iris and over all that good stuff. It's shaped like this. This is your cornea. And basically what it looks like is a contact lens, but like thicker and more permanent. Draw yourself a little half moon. But like much less than half, okay? Get it? You got it? You good? This is my moon. I hope you can see it. It's also my cornea. This is a drawing of a cornea. Why? What does a cornea do? And furthermore, aggressively gets pen. That pinkish is a lens. The lens, it's yellow here, but it's pink here. What does the lens do? Let's learn. Here I have a flashlight, and here I have the stuff. And I flashed the light in my eye. Not recommended to flash lights in your eye, but I'm doing that right now in my metaphorical paper eye. So the light is going in like this. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Straight lines. Those aren't straight, but you know what I mean? Like straight lines. Now the cornea is kind of like a contact lens. Do you know what the contact lens does? It just takes the light, whoop, and bends it bending now a little bit. They are, but they're still not going right. So the lens adjusts itself, kind of like the lens of a camera. But you know how you can do this with a camera and it makes it zoom further out and closer in? That's what your lens does inside your eye all the time. And so, based on how far the light is coming from, the lens adjusts itself and makes them bend again so that every single beam of light hits exactly 1 point. Your eye does that all the time without even thinking. Magic. Magic, it's magic. So that's what your eye's doing. Now, of course, why do I need glasses if my eyes are a magical piece of machinery? The answer is simple. Let's do it again. When light enters my cornea bends them, and then they go through the thing, which like bends them again, but then they reach the retina, and they're not at the same point, right? That makes everything fuzzy. My glasses come along, my sweet red glasses, and those are also curved. Did you know that? Did you know that the glass in your glasses are curved? This way or this way? This way or this way? You know what I mean? Contacts do that too, just on a much, much, much smaller scale. It's, again, probably magic, possibly lasers. So along comes my glasses, and now here's a bit of light after the glasses. It comes in, you know, boop, boop, straight line. My glasses adjust it, and then it goes here, and it adjusts again, and then it goes through here, and it adjusts again, and then 1 point. Perfect. Everything's amazing. That made no sense. Long story short, between your glasses and your cornea, which I shouldn't touch, and your lens, which I can't touch, between all of those three things, you should be able to see perfect. Another thing that has to do with your eyes is the conjunctiva. Oh, you might have heard of conjunctivitis? Yeah. The conjunctiva just surrounds around your eye. You know, if you would like to do that, don't do that because it grosses some people out, but the red stuff, that's what that is. So it's over your eye here, and then also under your eyelid, so like that. Yep, conjunctiva, done drawn it just there. So it lines the eyelid, and it provides protection to your eyeballs, and also keeps, it lubricates your eyeballs. There's this thing here. What's this thing? Well, for one thing, it's an engineering flaw, because if you just had multiple of those things, you wouldn't have a blind spot, because where this thing goes, you can't see there, and that's your blind spot. But if there were multiple, they would all make up for each other, and you wouldn't have a blind spot. So, God, get on it. But anyway, what's here that I'm drawing brown and very skillfully is the optic nerve. Nerve, it's a thing that goes to your brain, right? So yeah, it's exactly that. It's optical eye, nerve. It goes from your eye to the back of your head. Why it has to travel all that distance, I don't know, but it goes to the back of your head, okay? So the eyeball, optic nerve, back of your head, and that's vision. I bet you really understand what I'm saying. Everything here, and here, and all in here, but not in here, just around here. All around your eyeball on the inside is the retina. It's this very thin membrane that's all around the inside of your eyeball. And, you know, the light that we keep talking about goes in, bends, right? And then it touches the focal point, the place where you see. It touches that one beautiful dot where all the light goes. And the retina is just all about the seeing thing. All it does, all it knows is seeing. Something you may have heard that what you actually see is upside down. This is true. Okay, and the light's coming from the top of the flower and the bottom of the flower. And then here's your eyeball, right? And your eyeball bends it. And then, yeah, they both come to like one single point, but they kind of like go upside down. Don't worry about it. The point is, It's upside down, right? The lines cross each other a little bit, so it's upside down, and your brain flips everything back around because it realizes that that's not right. Everything you're seeing is being flipped all the time, and your brain just does it. And I think that it's pretty darn cool. Anyway, so that's the retina. That's the red. It's red. It's red because it's got lots of blood in it. Ew. But yeah, it's got like here's some blood vessels, and then here are veins. So we've got arteries and veins. Obviously, they're red and blue. Arteries, veins. You should know this stuff. And they go through there. Okay. So when you go to the eye doctor and they shine a light in your eye and they look in your eye, what are they looking for? They're looking at the blood in your retina to make sure it's all doing what it's supposed to do. It est flowing, right? What have we got? We've got the cornea. It's got the curving thing. It's the curve. Remember the curve that bends the light? Yeah, cornea. Go through there. You got the iris muscle. It does this thing. So the light, good. We got your pupil. It's literally nothing. There's nothing there. We've got the lens. It does more of the bending stuff, and it zooms. We've got the ciliary body, the hair things that keep the iris and the lens in place. The cilia come off the choroid, which is a coating. Coating, coating around the eyeball. But it's not coating as nearly as much as the sclera is coating. That's just the white of your eyes. It's called the sclera. I don't know why. Around it, the red bits, the part that cover it when you blink and stuff, and also the rest of the time is the conjunctiva. Inside, you've got all sorts of fluids, and around is the retina. It takes the light's on it, and it sends the light through the optic nerve to the back of your head, where it flips the image around, and that is currently all you know about the eye, but you're gonna be learned more. This is the retina. No, it's not the retina. It's not just red. Like I said before, it's got the veins. But how does the retina see color? You got the light, but what about the color? Well, there are two things that you may have heard of that do that. First thing, let's see this thing. That's a rod, man. R-O-D, rod. It sticks out of the retina, and light gets on it, and it senses the light. It's pretty simple. There are about 120 million rods per eye, but they're mostly around the outsides, less in the middle, more in the around the edges of your eye. They are mostly in charge of peripheral visions, and let me tell you something, they can see all 50 shades of gray and more. And then it sends a signal to your brain, and your brain sends a signal to your neck muscles, telling the neck muscles to look away because you don't want to see that gray. It's a different kind of gray, and it's not the kind of gray that those rods are looking for, okay? Okay, if that's for gray, what about colors? That's what cones are for. They see everything else. They see the rainbow. There are about 6 to 7 million cones in each eye. They cover the entire retina. Everywhere. Everywhere. That's where they are. Where are the cones? Everywhere. Except for where the optic nerve comes through. That's where they're not. But everywhere else. Now, a question for you. How do we keep our eyeballs moist? Moist. 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 So this is your eye, except it's your eye going like that, so you can see under your eyelashes and stuff. There are multiple glands that keep your eye dampened and fresh, if you will, and also if you won't, because you don't have a say in this. The first one is the meibomian gland. They line the eyelid. You see, they're little holes. So the glands cover the inside of your eyelids. The other cool thing that the glands do is, let's say an eyelash gets stuck in your eye. Happens way too freaking often. If you're not as skilled as getting eyelashes out of your eye as I am, just so special. The oily substance that these glands produce wraps itself around the thing that's in your eye, in this case a giant feather pen, and makes it so it can't stabby at your eye anymore, because now it's covered in goop. And then the eyelash slowly slips out of your eye. Now it comes out all like green and gross, but it didn't hurt as much. There you go. Thank you, glands. And the stuff that those glands produce is also what becomes sleep in your eyes when you wake up in the morning. If you call it eye boogers, get out. That's gross. Leave. There are other glands that are like here, and they're between all of your eyelashes. You have these to keep your eyelashes nice and clean. So basically, every time you wear mascara, these glands cry. Your eyelashes are very important. They protect your eye from dust and other poop getting in them. I say poop because I don't want to curse. So there are these glands that are between your eyelashes that keep your eyelashes clean. So earlier I said cilia are hairs, like this. Remember this cilia? It's that, hairs. So your eyelashes are pretty much just cilia, right? They're hairs. So these are called ciliary glands, and they're between eyelashes. So tears. Let's learn about tears, right? Lacrima is the Latin word for cry. And apparatus means a complex thing. The lacrimal apparatus is a complex thing. It's not that complex. That makes you cry. Your lacrimal gland that creates the tears is actually located here. It's located here. And so your gland is around here, and that's where it creates the tears. It makes the tears up in here, okay? So the lacrimal gland's like here. Your lacrimal glands create a dilute salt solution. So tears creates tears. So it creates the tears that then go into the eyes. The lacrimal apparatus also contains like some ducts that goes into your nose. So, the lacrimal gland creates the tears up in here, and then you cry. And your tears go into your tear ducts, which you've probably seen, in the corners here, right? And they go into the tear ducts, and they actually go into your nose. And that's why you become congested. So, your snot is kind of partially tears. Tears contain lysosomes, which kill bacteria. Wash your eyeballs. It's basically your eyeball ablutions, if you will. If you won't, it cleans your eyes. I have a Hostess cupcake. It's so delicious and so not kosher. But why do we cry when we're emotional? Do our strong emotions of sadness dirty our eyes? No, you just do. It releases pressure, releases stress. That sums up today's Liberty Learns Within. If you're watching this in Mr. Voltz's class right now, this is a good time for you to stop watching. Because now I'm gonna say, like, subscribe, comment, and if you want me to do another Liberty Learns Within, but maybe about something more interesting, let me know in the comments what you want it to be about. Because I'd love to do this again, but I'm not going to move my desk next time because this was a pain in the butt. My name is Liberty, I like things, have a nice life, and bye. This is your eye, and this is your eye on drugs. Any questions?